Hello buddy, welcome to another quick video. We're actually up in North Yorkshire Moors at the moment with David Flower, and I have a bit of a play, something different today with a Lumix G5, and something a little bit different about it is it's infrared converted. Now, forecast was going to be for semi-bright, clearing, so far we've had rain, not a lot of bright, but this isn't a full spectrum conversion. It's sort of set out to be sort of mid-range, 420 nanometer, but it means that I'll be able to pick out things even though it's not bright sunlight, so not sort of bright foliage and stuff like that. Where we are, not far from Goathland, there's quite a few little rocks around and stuff like that, so using that as a bit of a foreground. I'm running the Lumix 9mm, which is like an ideal choice really for doing this sort of thing. I quite like doing wide angle on these sort of shots, so you'll get a few shots around, bring you down with you. With probably sort of bit of a stream down there, might be able to do something with. No idea what's going to come out yet, but there's a couple of shots I've already taken, so go a bit more of a wander. So what does infrared converted mean? Basically, on the front of each sensor in a camera, normally you've got a filter that actually blocks out infrared light. The main reason being is even though we can't see it with our eyes, there's a hell of a lot of infrared light just bouncing around everywhere. And that'll overpower a sensor quite easily. So they put a filter on there, so it blocks it out, let's basically see the visual range. Makes it a little bit easier to process things, and essentially gives you more like what you used to see in sort of with your eyes. When you go for an infrared conversion, you basically remove that filter and you put in place a sort of plain piece of glass. Now if it's done properly, you'll get all your IBIS and all your focusing works properly, but it means you can get some really abstract feels. I don't know, there's something unique about the feel that you get from infrared, and I really do enjoy sort of the look to it. So when Dave said, "Oh, I've got the infrared camera, do you want to have a go with it?" I thought, well yeah, obviously. So just wandering around, I'm sort of fairly close to the railway line, so maybe sort of old train popping through and stuff like that, but if I just spin you around, this absolutely fantastic silver birch here. Now, I was hoping we were going to get a bit of light on this, because I think that'll work quite nicely, but that lovely bit of foliage around there, bit of the grass here, basically the foliage and the grass, it'll have the negative effect. So basically all this will become very, very light. The clouds will become very, very moody, and you'll get a light effect actually on the grass and the ferns. So it's a completely different look to what you normally get. And I think it's something that it opens up a few different sort of avenues if you're actually sort of out playing and the conditions aren't exactly perfect. Which is why I've got my eyes on one. See if one pops up at the right sort of price. Now obviously this is a Lumix G5. It's not the world's most amazing camera, but you don't need it. It's not like it's going to be your main camera, but it gives you something to play with, and frankly it's a bit of fun, which is exactly what I think photography should be about. So I'm going to keep on wandering, grab a few more shots, and I'm being looked at by the sheep at the moment, so I'm trying to include one of those, see what that looks like in infrared. So you've got this sort of ethereal look that you get from infrared, and essentially it's all about what things are actually reflecting infrared out, and that's what you see. So basically Leaves, they're quite good at actually sort of reflecting the infrared away. Water, especially if it's deep water, it won't actually sort of come through, so you get really, really sort of dark, sort of almost sort of black feel to water. Sky, it varies. If it's blue sky, it'll look quite dark, and you'll actually see quite a gradient on it. If it's like it is at the moment with clouds, you get a real sort of moody feel. Obviously, running the 9mm, I'm playing a lot more with sort of the wider side of things and sort of lots of foreground and trying to bring a scene together. I mean, I've got the 12-100, which I might have a bit of a play with in a bit, but I thought this nice fast lens, conditions aren't amazing, be ideal for it, but just come down to a little bit of a stream, so I'm going to see if I can compose something and see if this comes out. Basically, you've got the stream running through, bit of reflection, and some nice sort of old trees down here as well, so I'll see if I can make something out of it, and I'll stick it up now for you. So let's say you want to sort of get into the infrared realm and sort of have a bit of a play. Cost-wise, you can pay anything up to about £600 for them. They've actually got an absolute cracking bargain on this one. You can get a lot of bridge cameras that have been converted, normally around between the £100 and £150 mark. So not stupidly expensive, but let's say you want to have a bit of an experiment and you want to sort of try it before you sort of take the plunge and go for a full camera system. You can get infrared filters, which basically go onto your existing sort of setup. Now, yes, it does do the job. It actually filters out the visible light and leaves behind, you know, just the infrared spectrum coming into the sensor, which, although it has actually got the filter on, the sensor is slightly more sensitive to it, but it does work like a 15 or 20 stop filter, so yeah, everything's got to be long exposure to make it work. I did pick one up to have a bit of a play with. Frankly, I wasn't that impressed. I'll take a quick shot with it while we're up here. I will have to end up probably sort of dropping it on tripod, get a minute or so of some stuff, but I'll pop it up now for you so you can see what it looks like, and I'll put the actual sort of, essentially the same shot with this one up afterwards as well. Price wise, yeah, it's a lot cheaper getting the filter, but your limitations are really there. With this, you can shoot as if you were sort of shooting normal setups. You're not worrying about super long exposure or anything like that. Whereas with the filter, that's something you've got to be very mindful of. Everything is going to be maybe around a minute, depending on how bright it is out. So you've got to sort of factor that into it. But if you've got one of these that you can sort of pick up at a reasonable price, obviously this is a Mark IV Thirds camera. I've got a shed load of Mark IV Thirds lenses. It's perfect setup. But go a bit more of a wander around there. I'll see a couple of small trees that I might be able to bring in as a bit of a foreground, and some of these great moody clouds. And hopefully we'll get a bit of sun later and we'll get something really popping. So as far as processing the images that you get out of this, basically this is set up how David set it for being essentially a black and white profile. You can do the false colour, so you get like weird pink trees and stuff like that if you wanted to. You can just pick that out from the raw file, but the JPEGs come out as monochrome. Because of the way the profile works on this, you're actually using the viewfinder in mono as well, so it makes it a little bit easier to actually sort of work out. But you do have the options on that, but essentially you process it like you would do any other black and white image really. Maybe a slightly higher key than normal, but certainly nothing too complicated as far as the process goes. Is it something that you could sort of say spend a fortune on and make it like your full-time idea? I don't think you can, especially not in this country. The weather frankly is pants most of the time. We were hoping for, well, we've got a little bit of blue skies coming up there, over a lot more of that, which may come up later. We'll get some more shots in. But even on which is, well, I'll probably say sort of an average overcast day, you can still get some lovely results, especially if you've got trees and a bit of open vista. Like I'm running on the 9mm at the moment because that's kind of what I'm feeling in this area. It's quite wide open, big tree, big skies. It's just what I was feeling when I was sort of decided to sort of set it up. You don't have to, you can run it on almost any lens you like. You'll still get the same sort of results. You just got to be a little bit more sort of careful with your composition, because you've got to factor in some stuff might be slightly distracting. Obviously you've got something that's very light, very dark. Yeah, you just got to factor things in. But the beauty of it is, when you set it up like this, you can look through the viewfinder and play with the composition until you've got something you quite like. Now, obviously the Lumix G5, they're quite a tiny body. You can get the compact versions of the Mach 4 thirds cameras as well. They're even smaller, so it's the sort of thing, yeah, as you can see, the 9mm is tiny as well. You could chuck it on, throw it in your bag and just go. Possibly an even better idea would be to get the Olympus pancake lens, the 14 to 42 EZ with the electronic zoom on it, because that literally is so thin it's untrue. That'd be perfect, almost like a lens cap. That on something like this, you could throw it in your camera bag. Weight wise, there's nothing to it, and you can get some really nice sort of alternative shots if you're out and about and frankly the conditions aren't going to play for you. So it's certainly worth considering. Right, so if I've given you a bit of an insight as to what infrared's about, I'm definitely on the lookout for one. I just think it's a real piece of fun. Picked up the right price. Like I said, I've got the lenses. It's not too much of a problem to sort of get out there, just give you some extra dimension to play with, give you a bit of fun. But a few more images now. Like I said, I've been snapping away like a right one. So many different sort of subjects in such a small area around here. Perfect with an 9mm, big wide vista, massive sky, brilliant for it. So I'll sort of pop some more shots up now as a bit of a gallery for you. But if you've enjoyed the video, please do give us a big thumbs up. And if you really have liked it, hit subscribe. See more of this sort of rubbish every week. It's fantastic. But from quite a breezy and now nice and bright North Yorkshire Moors, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. Take care.
Into your eyes, I see we're out of time. I guess no one's to blame, nobody crossed the line. I guess we couldn't see, somehow we couldn't feel. Maybe we rose too fast, maybe we got too high. But I remember days I wonder we were always gonna last. Yeah, I do remember tears and the laughter. How could we fall so fast? Will be no hard goodbyes, thank God we're civilized. Be on our separate ways as we fade into grey. But I still miss the way you used to feel. Maybe we rose too fast, maybe we got too high. Yeah, I do remember tears and the laughter. How could we fall so fast and let us go? It's time to surrender. Now we wanna believe.